So this, whatever it takes, does it include anything concrete?
Yeah, thank God they didn't use the term the kitchen sink, because they are throwing just about everything. And they also want to portray a unified front at a time when many countries, even states within the United States, they're playing the blame game a bit on procuring supplies, on where the virus originated, et cetera, et cetera. So at least the G20, in a virtual emergency meeting that was chaired, of course, the G20 chaired by Saudi Arabia this year, but the leaders got together, they put out a joint statement. Let me just give you the top line, really, is the virus knows no borders, is what the G20 leaders are saying. We are strongly committed to presenting a unified front against this common threat. They also expressed the need for and the importance of sharing data and information. This, of course, as the United States now has overtaken China in the number of cases. U.S., China, and Italy all now have more than 80,000 reported cases of the coronavirus, 529,099. So 500,000 plus worldwide now are confirmed to have the coronavirus. There are 23,956 deaths. We're seeing the G20 leaders saying we will continue to conduct bold and large-scale fiscal support, and that's what they said. They've combined spending more than committing, I should say, more than $5 trillion and counting.
Steve, in the meantime, we're hearing from Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe speaking in Tokyo, seemingly a bit unhappy with the way that the conversations have gone about the rescheduling of the now deferred 2020 Tokyo Olympics, right? He's saying that the decision was made without expert advice. So what do we know about, what we're expecting in terms of when it could then be rescheduled for?
Well, oftentimes with the Japanese language, you have to really read between the lines, and oftentimes they're not really direct in their language. So I need to really parse his words and figure out what he's actually trying to say here. Was the decision forced upon him? That is a common narrative in Japan, where if the Japanese politicians like Shinzo Abe made the decision to cancel the Olympics, that would be political suicide. However, if the IOC and if the medical community, if the world came out and said, listen, you cannot hold the Olympic Games, then the politicians and the bureaucrats can say, well, we didn't make that decision. It was thrust upon us. So I'm not saying that's what Shinzo Abe is saying. It's just what the common discourse is in Japan right now. But we're getting these headlines. The Japanese economy minister, Yasutoshi Nishimura, is saying there's no need to declare a state of emergency right now. That is something an emergency panel has been set up to discuss the possibility of an emergency declaration, which would give the national government the ability to have national lockdowns, much like what Koike, the governor of Tokyo, has done for this weekend, asking the people of Tokyo to stay indoors. Now, Shinzo Abe says he shares those concerns of Koike as the sense of crisis has taken over. Shinzo Abe also saying the lockdown, though, would have severe effect on the economy, and it is extremely important to avoid a virus surge in the capital. Of course, Tokyo has become the new epicenter in Japan, with more cases. In Japan, in total, 47 new cases since yesterday, 121 new cases, many of them in Tokyo over the last 4 days. They have 1,400 confirmed cases and 47 deaths. Shinzo Abe also goes on to say, we want to take the steps to build a V-shaped recovery. Of course, the Olympics were supposed to go a long way in kickstarting Japan out of its doldrums for the last couple of decades. And in fact, we're seeing a situation that the Cabinet Office, in their monthly report, has dropped its view of the economy as recovering or moving towards a recovery for the first time since 2013. So the prospects of the Japanese economy already in a technical recession, not looking good and not going to get the springboard effect from the Olympic spending and the tourist influx.